So here we are, the day or two after Derby Aftermath video, and yes sir, Hudson in his first run was pretty fortunate but did a good job and came out of the Mercer County Grange Fair with a second place and a best paint, the camo paint, which he did most of the first round of paint. He got a best paint as well. So again, it was a blast. It was wild. You can see the old Hyundai Azera. Again, you know, there's so many, the Camrys, the Toyotas obviously, and the Hondas are just tough. But there are so many other cars that aren't, I would say, as tough, or the motors, you know, aren't as good at taking heat as the Hondas or the Toyotas, and the wheels don't take as much of a beat, and the frame rails, etc. But this old Hyundai, and I've had a couple Hyundais that I have been pleasantly surprised with. And you can see we're down a tire here. She got cut down, and we probably took 2, if not 3 good wheel shots, and she is straight. There is nothing bent. There is nothing broke. The only thing that's slightly bent is in the back. We took a good corner shot here in the back right, and it pressed forward the wheel a little bit, and it pulled a little bit out because it's so rusted. But that's the back end, you know, who cares? That's what you want. So it's a little bit turned in, this back right wheel. I show here, just that guy right there is so rusted it pulled forward a little bit, so it's just a little bit more forward, but it still pretty much drives straight. You can see how the back end's got a lot of life left, and he did a good job of trying to keep the back end of the chaos. Couple things I didn't mention in the first video I made. First, you know, anytime you have a young or a first time inexperienced driver, and I've even seen more experienced drivers, you like to tape up the wheel, just duct tape, so they can't get their fingers caught in there. I mean, I've seen people break fingers, you know, because they're just not used to it, or you're taking a hit and your finger gets caught. So we do that. And I also had the rear view mirror GoPro there. I didn't get a chance to look at the video. We'll see if it took good. But the rear view mirror there, I needed to slide over to here. In fact, I will on his next run, so that he could see a little bit better just out of the mirror. And I'll actually super glue the kind of knuckle there where it moves, so you can adjust it, so once it's in a good spot it won't move. But he wasn't here whenever I did that, so I didn't get a chance to kind of get it in the exact right spot. But again, battery tank, stock tank that is, did exactly how we wanted. Again, the top-notch battery there, I just cannot encourage you enough to put money in a battery if you're going to do more than just one Derby and be done, because it is worth every penny. And again, that battery had a 3-year warranty. After, right before the 3 years were up, I took it back and got a brand new battery. So it's, I mean, I would say it's at least a 6 or 7 year investment if you're going to Derby, and you got a good battery like that that takes heat. It just helps you out as they're getting hot. But you can see up front, took a small hit in the right corner here again. Toward the end, we were struggling real good going backwards, and he did a good job getting turned around, and we got a hit as we were probably starting to be on the time, because we were struggling in the mud and there were dead cars. And again, he can't really see. And then again, shout out to the young Reese Jacklet, good Derby driver. I think he's 14, just a good Derby driver. And his old man and him, they build good tough cars, especially when they got the Toyotas or Hondas. But he got into our right front, and it pressed in and kind of bent just a little bit here, the core support, and the radiator popped not long after. And that's, you know, the radiator pops, the motor kind of flutters. You got to try to keep the RPMs up just a little bit so it doesn't stall out on you. Well, it did stall out on us, and he actually, my son, turned the key off, and like turned it not all the way off because it was still in gear, but the gear shifter was locked. And he was saying, "Dad, I think the transmission's junk. I'm not sure what's going on." And I looked down and I just put my hand up to Reese. I'm like, "Bud, we're done, we're done." And I looked back and said, "Yep, we're the last 2. We're not even gonna try to refire," because Reese does a really good job. And we were able to get down there and said, "Hey, I think the car's got another run in her," which sure enough she does. So again, really great that he got a trophy, had a blast. Again, the car did great. Didn't take any big hits. Again, Mercer County Grange Fair, smaller fair, but there was 10 cars. I don't know if I said that yet. 10 cars in this youth. That's a full youth anywhere, big tracks anywhere. And there were 10. I think of the 10, 4 at least or 5 were first-time runners, including my son. So just super cool that he was able to not only run for a while, but end up getting a trophy. Good stuff. So we'll pop our free 99 seatbelts off and see what she looks like under the hood. So with the hood up, as you can see, just a little bit of a bend in the corner of the bumper here, and then this piece here that connects the bumper to kind of the mount that's bolted to the frame rail, and this kind of unique piece that these Hyundais seem to have. As you can see, it just broke right through. It's like a plastic there that holds the light. It's bent, but otherwise, again, stock bumper. It was a stock class. Good shape, good to go. Over here, again, frame rail straight, and this guy's not turned on, and you can see there's a little bit of a flex in the radiator, but the core support that is, but I actually don't know that the radiator pop, the overflow here, the fill container it was popped up, and I'm like, I wonder if that's, you know, just as it was building pressure, it just blew out there, and the radiator is actually still good, probably regardless. Maybe I'll fill it up here. I actually just took the fill cap off and there, and I dropped it behind the bottom part of the motor. I have to get it here, but I might fill it up with water and just see if it is leaking anywhere and go from there. But I planned on looping the lines again. Just got to have that piece, fill piece that vents pressure as well as you can fill and connect your lines together. But we'll see. But yeah, again, up front, these little plastic ingot corner pieces, I knew they break, but the lines ran out of the way, no issue. Both sides, again, you can see how pulled in, and again, spray foam just to secure them, all exactly where they were before the Derby. And again, inside the frame rail, so even if that plastic piece was busted up like it kind of is, not an issue there. That all worked great. And again, look at all that space. If you do end up taking, you know, your bumper and nose damage here, say the next run, as we didn't really do a lot there, she's good to go. So all good, no issues. Again, I turned the key back on, put it into park, started right back up there, drove it back onto the trailer. So we just got to change out that tire and some other stuff, see what our radiator here is like. Don't want to risk it if there is like a slight leak or anything. I'll just pull out the core support and loop the lines. But again, incredible first run. I was just hoping that he lasted a couple minutes, you know, had some fun. I mean, if you ended up, there was only a handful of you and you got a trophy as GSP, shout out to them, the promoters that did this Derby. They do the top 4 trophies, top 3 get at least a little bit of money. But he was fortunate that there were some good cars there and some good young drivers, first timers, several of them, but their dads helping them build the car. They knew what they were doing, and so we were fortunate. But a lot of fun. Proud of my son for just being out there, and he never got rattled. He was really into it, you know, me barking commands and directions, trying to get him to do this or that. He did the best he could, and first time ever behind the car, let alone in a pit, hitting off each other, or other people I should say, and I'm hitting him. He did great. So second place, best paint, first run, Mercer County Grange Fair. It was a blast.